The Cambridge Folk Festival.
Cambridge 105 Radio.
Folk Festival 2023. I'm Alex Elbro and I'll be taking you through these highlights today. Earlier today, Julian spoke to Max Bianco. Oh, and he's going to be playing in the Den later as part of the new Roots Folk Club, and I'm interested to hear what he had to say.
Days about how Cambridge, the folk festival, actually is. Now, your accent, you sing, you speak. You're not from Cambridge, but you are Cambridge based,
yeah.
which is important. Do you think there's enough artists like you from around the area performing this year?
Yeah, it'd be nice to see more of them on like stage 2. Open night would have been great, I think. Given a few more of the local bands, I think maybe I don't know, because these are locked for the local of solo artists that get picked, which are great. I think Cambridge is rich for songwriters. It's amazing. Like, it's never seen that way from the outside world. Like, people just think of Cambridge as university, elbow patches and that kind of stuff. But when you get part of the music scene in Cambridge, as you know yourself, it's incredible for songwriters. There's so many people here, and the support all the songwriters give each other is amazing. Yeah, it would be nice to see more of the songwriters on the bigger stages, I think. But
yeah. It's a strange thing. It's not that there's anything wrong with the music that there's. That
oh yeah, the lineup's great.
It's absolutely fabulous. It's just you kind of want more, and you don't want exactly the same bands.
Yeah,
you can go to the Blue Moon or wherever and see.
Yeah,
but you do want to have some sort of a presence.
That's it. Yeah, because you don't know all the stages full of all our bands. So, you're going to see us again next week or the month later in Cambridge, which is fair enough. But I think it is nice to be invited to play though, and I mean it's a great atmosphere, and everybody here is beautiful. And I've noticed this year as well, like I think it was the same last time, but the recycling here is really good for a festival. I've not seen any litter anywhere.
No, that is very. It says looking at the press thing and seeing up. I'm sure people can pick that.
That's backstage.
But you're absolutely right.
It's amazing.
And
there's so many bins. It's great.
Yeah, and like everybody else, I had a hunt around at home before I came to try and find my beer mug from previous years.
And I've got a pocket full of cigarette ends that I didn't want to throw away.
Well, don't throw them away here. We're trying to keep the place tidy. Instead, we'll keep your hands busy by performing maybe one more song for us before we let you go.
Well, now I take the sunshine for granted, and I don't even see the moon glow. A broken mind is what I fear, but that's what I suffer from the most. And every time I stand up, I'm shot back down. Every time I try to breathe, I'm forced to drown. I lost my mind in a northeast bay. There's nothing seemed to go my way. I hope I find it again someday. I hung my soul on a tightrope line. I hung it out to let it dry. I put it back on, but it makes me cry. But I won't tell God that He's needed. I'm too hard-strung to make a prayer. There's only one goal I've been dreaming of, and my heart won't stop me till I'm there. And every road I cross, I get more lost. You know how hard I try just to go outside. I lost my mind in a northeast bay. As nothing seemed to go my way. I hope I'll find it again someday. I hung my soul on a tightrope line. I hung it out to let it dry. I put it back on, but it makes me cry. So I pick myself from off the pavement, and I brush off the dust as I go. But no matter how fast I'm moving, it's hard to take the chill off my bones. So don't mark my card or carve my grave. I know that I look weak, but I'm brave. lost my mind in a northeast space. Nothing seemed to go my way. I hope I'll find it again someday. I hung my soul on a tightrope line. I hung it out to let it dry. I put it back on, but it makes me cry. I'd put it back on, but it makes me cry.
So that was Max Bianco talking to Julian Clover earlier. I love Max. I think the way he brings his modern touch to folk music is absolutely brilliant, and I always look forward to hearing what he has to say. So earlier today, Sue Marchant spoke to Pavey Ark.
We've brought out our debut album a few years ago, and we're just kind of finishing off our second, and we're aiming for January with it. So we've just released a single just now. We're going to have another couple later in the year leading up to the album. So.
Yeah, lovely. That's the way to do it these days, isn't it? You have that gentle trickle of stuff. It's Pavey Ark, it's Pavey Ark. Okay, well, I'd love you to play your first tune, so I'll let you put that microphone back in that stand over there if you need to, and we'll get ready. What are you going to play for us, Neil?
It's a pretty new song, so we're going to be playing it on Sunday night, and it's going to be on the new album. It's called Yesterday Is Done.
Lovely. And just to let everybody know, Stage 3 Sunday night, Pavey Ark are actually closing that stage, so that's really exciting. It'll be, there we go. Okay, well, it's all over to you. Please welcome Pavey Ark.
Sorry, two words, too much air between them. These worries, hot coals to the cold of the ocean. Bleach these blues white on the sand. Are you ready? 5 a.m. You can't undo what's done. You can't rewind what's run. So I'll count these days to come. Yesterday is done. I'm sorry, two words, too much earth beneath them. These memories hot cold like the stones I'm still holding. Toss these rocks, gifts to the deep. Are you ready to release? You can't undo what's done. You can't rewind waters run. So I'll count these days to come. Yesterday is done. Da da da.
You're listening to Cambridge 105 Radio, and that was Pavey Ark, part of them live. My goodness, I so enjoyed that. That was so relaxing and so engaging to my brain that was just saying, listen, there is something really special here to say. Wow. So, Neil, do you do all the writing?
Yeah, I write. I'm the songwriter, and I write the songs, and then obviously it's like kind of like basic form, guitar and vocals, and then we kind of build it up. So yeah, we usually start with bass and drums, and then compose the strings on top of that. Chris Herron, who's not playing now, but he's playing on Sunday, he composes a lot of most of the strings. Alex has composed them as well. So
yeah, absolutely beautiful. So you're almost like a mini orchestra, aren't you, with the amount of strings that you've got there, and the way that song, the arrangement came over. It's just a lot of folk music and strings in folk music has a certain sound, and I'd probably say our strings are more orchestral sounding than folk sounding. Yeah. So it suits a quartet or like a 6-piece or something like that. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm a lucky man to have them play for me.
That was Pavey Ark talking to Sue Marchant earlier today. And as she said, they are closing the stage 3 tomorrow night, Sunday night, when suddenly it all feels that it's all over. And it always goes so fast. It always feels like you've got so long on a Thursday, and then by the time it gets to Sunday, you're very sad. But, happy times. We've still got another day and a half to go. So earlier today, Julian Taylor spoke to Sue Marchant before playing on stage 2. She started by asking Julian what he was going to play for us.
What are you going to play for us, Julian?
Oh, well, I thought I might play a song called Murder 13.
Yeah.
And it's not the happiest of songs. It's about an event that occurred in 2005 where I lost one of my best friends who was brutally murdered in the city of Toronto.
Oh, my goodness.
And was the 13th murder of that year.
Wow.
And it took me a long time to actually write the song. And I finished it and put it on my new record, Beyond the Reservoir, which came out at the end of last year. But it was a really difficult song to write, and I wasn't really sure how to write it. Several people who had been there at the time said that I shouldn't write it because they were scared for my safety or the safety of anybody who would hear the song because of the events that really transpired at that time. So I chose to write it from a different point of view. Luckily, I had a little bit of help. A good friend of mine, Freeman Dre, is also a songwriter, one of the first people I was ever in a band with. He was also really good friends with this person. And we sat down and wrote this song together. It's an interesting, crazy, thing. There is a lot of brutality that goes on in Toronto. Everybody thinks it's a wonderful place, and it is. But there is a definite, underbelly to every city in the world, I would say. And growing up, I did live a rather privileged life because my parents worked really hard. My grandparents worked really hard for each generation to, have some sort of, footstep and staircase, But it's funny, I grew up in this neighborhood, and there weren't a lot of black boys, but I was one of them, and now I'm one of the only ones.
Really?
Yeah, 2 were murdered.
Gosh.
And 2 went to jail, and a couple other weird things happened to some others. So I don't know why I have to say that, but I just have to say that part of systemic sort of
Yeah. Well, let's face it, it just should not be happening in this day and age, should it? You know?
No, it shouldn't have ever been happening.
Ever.
But
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So sorry to be a downer.
No. It is a folk festival, so we are allowed to have a few songs like that. You know, that's part of it. It's the stories. It's the storytelling.
It's the stories.
Yeah.
For sure. And I thought that because this one doesn't get played a lot, that I would play it on the radio for you.
I'm so pleased that you decided to do that, because it's given us an insight into where you're from, and it's so hard to lose somebody. It really is, particularly when it's a friend.
For sure.
Julian Taylor live.
I used to play here, Dad on the restaurant downstairs. Out there in the parking lot, a couple folded chairs. Down the block was Bedford Park. A lot of my friends went there. Wasn't nothing much, could have been anywhere. Could have been anywhere. And I've had enough. Excuse me, I'm leaving. I just don't feel like being here anymore. Yes, I've had enough. Excuse me, I'm leaving. I just don't feel like being here anymore. Do you remember Kay's party? First year the Blue Jays won. I mean, how could you forget that? Joe caught a game-winning home run. Some of us got lost, some of us got crazy. Walking down Young Street, we were so young. We were so young. And I've had enough. Excuse me, I'm leaving. I just don't feel like being here anymore. Yes, I've had enough. Excuse me, I'm leaving. I just don't feel like being here anymore. In middle school we all started dealing. That's when I called you. You were in over your head. Asked you to make a drop. Think about it's all you said. That's when our paths uncrossed, and I'm glad they did. I'm glad they did. And I've had enough. Excuse me, I'm leaving. I just don't feel like being here anymore. Yes, I've had enough. Excuse me, I'm leaving. I just don't feel like being here anymore. My name is Alex, and I was murder 13.
Oh my goodness. Julian Taylor, that is just amazing.
Thank
What
you.
a beautiful way to write a song, which must have been so hard. But honestly, I was getting all kinds of visions then of that crossover, you know, and just really well executed. I was just like, for the song, I mean, it's just, whoa.
Thank
yeah,
you.
really interesting. Now, apart from something sad like that, I know you can write happy songs as well.
Oh yeah, I
can't
do
you?
like happy songs. Yeah, I can write happy songs.
And what makes you happy, Julian? Is there anything else you like to do apart from play guitar and sing?
Oh sure, I love spending time with my daughter.
Yeah.
I love spending time with family. I love. I'm Canadian, so I do like hockey.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I like fishing,
Yeah.
and those are certainly things that I really love doing a lot. I go for canoe rides a lot too, you know.
Okay.
And sometimes I don't fish at all. I just go for a paddle
Lovely.
and take in what's happening around me. You know, the heritage that I come from, especially on the Mohawk side, is really tied to the land. And a lot of my music, regardless of whether it's happy or sad, the imagery and the spirit behind it has a lot to do with my relationship and our relationship with the Great Spirit and Mother Earth.
That was Julian Taylor talking to Sue Martin earlier, and he played on stage too earlier as well. I mean, his music there absolutely gave me goosebumps, and it's interesting to hear a Canadian talking in that way about Toronto. Something I never really realised. So Gangstagrass are on stage one at the moment. You may be able to hear them in the background. Sue Martin asked them about the unusual bluegrass hip-hop fusion that they play, and where did it come from?
It's just what I hear when I try to make music. That's my influences. I grew up with hip-hop and country music playing on the stereo, and I just wanted to make something that wasn't missing that heavy boom bap on the beats and the twangy twang on the strings, so got to have them at the same time.
And country music is a huge market as well, isn't it? You know, so I guess in a way you can break into both sides of that.
Well, the tricky thing is, you would think so, but
what are we going to make happen? Yeah,
you know, but things are kind of siloed into genre-specific things. So we may end up too hip hop for country and too country for hip hop in terms of stations and playlists and whatnot.
Right.
So we're out here just trying to cut through the undergrowth by hand.
Yeah, a lot of times they don't know where to put us.
But this is the thing about labels, isn't it? Let's forget about labels.
Exactly.
The only label we want is unique, and that's what we have right here at Cambridge 105 Radio, okay? Because we're all a little bit unique here. We all have our strange little fancies about things, but you know, we're unique, and we love all kinds of music. So I am so excited now to ask you to play. What are you gonna play for us?
Oh yeah.
Well, we'll play you a little song called Nickel and Dime Blues, which is about it. If you had, what's the currency here? Well, if you had, you know, the smallest iteration, or
Pounds,
maybe
pennies.
the second, yeah, 1 quid, 2 quid sort of deal. It's for folks who don't got any money, and I think we all understand what that's like.
Yeah.
All right, here we go, fellas. 1, 2, 3. Down to the corner store just to get a little bottle of pills, 'cause the man on the television told me there's a cure for all my ills. Well, I walked on up to the counter and I told him what I had. Now he said, you ain't got no money, you can't afford to be feeling so bad. Oh, can you spare a nickel, brother? Can you spare a dime? Need a couple more dollars just to get me on down the line.
Hey there, how you doing? That's the folks. I tell them all the same thing, old, black, and broken. They think that's a joke, but I ain't playing. There's a whole lot of truth to what I'm saying. See, my bones crack, but I'm so pro-black, and I got so many bills, and there ain't no stacks. Hey there, Kojak, sucking on your lollipop. Think I can get a ride over to the trolley stop. I just left one job trying to hit the next one. Doing what I can do so I can get this check, son. You can keep the weed and dank amounts. I'm trying to get Bowling Green in my bank account. So I hit the studio, turn up the tempo. Gotta get paid in full rock and mode. Peep the game, do the knowledge. Now I gotta pay for my daughter to go to college.
Well, I went down to the bodega just to get a little Mountain Dew. When I opened up my wallet, there wasn't nothing but an IOU. When I told my situation, I asked him, what do you got for me? He said, I got this knuckle sandwich, and I'll give it to you for free. Oh, can you spare a nickel, brother? Can you spare a dime? Need a couple more dollars now just to get me on down the line. Come on!
from red dirt out the red hook. I've been rocking Mike since before there was a Fed hook. The left hook, the reason why your man got his head shook. From the PJs where if you slip, you get your bread took. Concrete floors made it chilly when the sun down. Somehow we all made it out from the rundown. Proper plan for getting played for a dumb clown. Took some less travel roads, standing out amongst crowds. Old head with the fire of a jit. More heads you can tell they alive when they spit. Bald heads don't want plex with the line in his kid. Sauce sell it really nothing if you find with the fifth. I'm cooking cast iron in the pit. Your bread ain't really thick if all you buying is a fit. I cut it up in sections, then I fry it till it's crisp. Season it a little more than required for the fix. Come
Well,
on.
I could not pay my ticket, and I could not pay my bail. Well, the judge couldn't pay me the time of day, and he threw up my butt in jail. Well, he gave me a nickel and a dime, and he placed them upon my eyes. For it costs much more to keep me here than it did to let me die. Oh, can you spare a nickel, brother? Can you spare a dime? Need a couple more dollars just to get me on down the line. I said, can you spare a nickel, brother? Can you spare a dime? Need a couple more dollars just to get me on down the line.
Well, the entire cast of Cambridge 105 and a few others that we've picked up along the way thoroughly enjoyed that, as I did. And what a lovely inclusive way to perform your music as well, because you've all got that, you know, you're all dipping in there and dipping out, and it's just wonderful. It's unique.
Was the very different and unique Gangstagrass, as Sue was saying there. I mean, they were incredible, loved their energy, and they were just very funny as well. And it did seem to attract a whole crowd of people suddenly flocked to all around our place here, the media and press area, for them to do that. Their bit, and everyone was taking photos. It was very funny. Anyway, later on, then me and Linda, spoke to Irish singer Claire Sands, and she spoke to us. She just arrived in from Ireland.
My music is really steeped in Irish traditional music. I'm from 6 or 7 generations of Irish traditional singers and fiddlers. So the music that I make, I suppose I call it fearless folk with Irish traditional at the core. It's in English and in Irish. But it is, I suppose, a new stance maybe on Irish traditional music. Like, I'm playing a viola, it's going through loads of effects pedals. It's sort of dark and dirty and energetic and hopeful, I think. So that's how I'd describe the music. And hopefully people will be singing and moving and enjoying it.
No, I like the sound of dark and dirty but hopeful.
Yes.
I mean, that's like a perfect
That is
combination,
great.
isn't it?
That's really poetic, actually.
Yeah.
Your whole family then are folk artists and involved in the folk music. What do the older generation think of what you're doing with it nowadays? Are they enjoying that?
I think they are. I think, music evolves and changes and weaves, and, we always say, oh, we're doing something new, this generation is doing something new, but actually, like the West Clare Fiddlers 50 years ago were also doing something new, and I think it's great to be able to share that music that you have literally been playing your whole life, and to stay true to that. So that's really exciting. I've had a year of back and forth to the States and Germany, Switzerland, France, Scotland, away to Mexico in a month or two. So it's just brilliant to be, as I said, playing the music I've been playing my whole life, I'm going to play a song called Sail On, and this is a song that's sort of in the Irish and in the English language, and it was written in Connemara, which is a Gaeltacht, so it's a place in Galway where people speak Irish, and it's sort of all about that journey, really. So I hope you enjoy it. Thanks for having me on. The sea is our strength on these western shores, falling golden sands, your caressing hands. Our bodies glide, we move with the tide. The thunder she was, you cry out for more. Tormagad, go Connemara, like Hela. Virginia Narragan Tormagad, go Connemara. Is Grolum who? Is Grolum who? Sail on, sail on, sail on with me a while. morning. We are still intertwined by the heat of passion. Moonlit night gone by. The sunlight creeps in. You explore every crevice of my skin. The record spins. Oh, God bless it. Torn by the kind of mind. Lakila, the G and torn by the kind of mind. Is growling who? Is growling who? Sail on, sail on, sail on with me, why? Sail on, sail on, sail on with me, why? Niñars go curla kela, 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 niñars go curla kela. Sail on, sail on, sail on with me, why? Sail on, sail on, sail on with me, why? Sail on, 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 sail on with me, why?
That was the wonderful Claire Sands, who's going to be on stage 2 quite shortly, I believe. And yes, we had a lovely chat with her. That's all there is from today's highlights on Cambridge 105 Radio. Come back tomorrow to our YouTube channel at 5 o'clock. Please like and subscribe if you like this. And if you really want to, add a little, click on the little bell icon, and that will give you all the notifications for everything we produce on YouTube. Thank you and good night.